Hello and welcome to episode 99. We got one left after this, folks. I'm, of course, TFG and Mike. You are listening to Pixels in the Animation. Joining me is TV's Mr. Neil.
Mama Luigi.
Oh, no. I will say right now, I do have 2 episodes of Mario World on my list. I have 2 of 3 and 1 of Super Show. So, there is that. We are here to talk about our least favorite or worst cartoon video game episodes. Last week you heard us talking about our favorites, or what we perceive as the best, which Neil is just Earthworm Jim all the time. I'm seriously thinking about going and making a new schedule to include all the current Sonic cartoons, just to... Anyway, countdown this time around is the worst or the least favorite. Number 10 for you, sir, is...
Number 10 for me is an Earthworm Jim. No, it's Super Mario World Mama Luigi.
No.
And I hate it because, first of all, it's an origin episode, and I don't like origin episodes. They're pointless. Because everything that you could establish for the character should be done in, like, any other episode. That's the whole point of storytelling, is that you build your character through their experiences and through the plot structure of the story. And for some reason, we had to go back in time and explain how Luigi found Yoshi, and it's like, well, he just found the egg, and it bonded with him, and that's a story. And I'm like, okay, that's not a story.
Okay, but in the case of Kevin in Videoland, that's the beginning of the series. That's him getting sucked into his television. So that part, like, yes, I agree with you. Technically, you shouldn't have to go back and give us a flashback to find out how things happened. But when you start at the beginning, I mean, it's okay. And then you flesh out the character for the rest of the 33 other episodes, or whatever Captain N had. Whatever. Anyway.
Well, in this case, it's a character that nobody really likes.
Yoshi isn't that... Okay, in the cartoon, he's bad. In the game, the Yoshis are not bad. At least in the original Super Mario World game.
Before they gave him the baby voice.
Yeah.
Yoshi!
Yeah, what's even worse, I don't... Do you have a smartphone?
No.
Okay, good. So, I've got the Samsung Galaxy S9. I had the S7 beforehand. And I remember back when Nintendo was announcing things at E3 or whatever a few years ago, a number of years ago now, they were announcing Super Mario Run. Basically, it's a mobile version of Mario where all you have to do is press the screen to have the characters jump. Well, you can play, as long as you earn your way to get the characters to have them in your thing, you can play your way as Yoshi. And it is by far 10 times annoying than the animated character ever was. Because it's this sound where, like, I can't even pull it up right now I'll see if I can get it in post or something, but it's like he's struggling to get up because he has this sort of, like, flight floating power without any wings or anything. And he's like, it's like he's trying to squeeze a fart out or something, and it's just, it's the worst Yoshi thing ever.
I think I know exactly what sound effect you're talking about. It's the sound he makes when he's doing his flutter jump.
Yep. And that is by far the worst thing Yoshi ever did. Super Mario Brothers film Yoshi, much better. Yoshi in Mario World animated series, fine. Yes, he does stupid shit. He's a baby. We get it. But anyway. My number 10 for worst, or my least favorite, Mr. and Mrs. Mother Brain from Captain N the Game Master. Why in the hell would you have Simon Belmont fall in love with Mother Brain? I mean, Simon's creepy enough already in this cartoon series. The polite things and the lovey-dovey things he says to Mother Brain are just as, if not even more creepy than what he tries to do with the princess. Oh. Number 9 for you, sir.
Mega Man Curse of the Lion Men. And the reason this is on my list is because it's a really dumb sort of I touch you, you're a bad guy type story. It's the one where this anthropomorphic lion guy shows up and he's able to turn both Dr. Light and Dr. Wily into lion men, and automatically they're like followers of him. And it's just a really pointless episode with a very tired sort of cliche. I'm going to contrast this with, of course, Transformers that did a story like this, but obviously had a point to it. That'd be the Return of Optimus Prime, the Hate Plague. Okay, the Hate Plague is kind of the same thing, but there was a point to it because like I said, you could flip the episode around and tell where it was going just by seeing where the ending was. And the ending was a showdown between Optimus Prime and Rodimus Prime. And that was the whole point of the Hate Plague, is to sort of be a conveyance for this, to sort of set it up. Whereas this episode, it's just kind of like, a story of the week. It's like there's no reason for it. The ending is Mega Man wins and everything goes back to normal and, whatever. And it's just kind of like a nothing plot. There's a lot of nothing plots in Mega Man, but that was the one where I was just like,
Speaking of a nothing plot, my number 9, it's Mega Trouble for Megaland. My head hurts. So this is the episode where they decide to focus on Mega Man. Because I think at this point, or at least soon after this, they focus on Kid Icarus, they focus on Simon. They obviously focus on Kevin and the princess for, certain various episodes and times. But Mega Trouble for Megaland was just basically Mega Man going, this is mega bad. This is mega, mega, mega bad. This is, oh my god, what is Dr. Wily doing? He's mega evil. That episode. Oh, boy. What is your number 8, sir?
My number 8 is I have written here Street Fighter. You hurt my Jessica. And that's right. The episode. That's the episode where they cross over with Final Fight, and they're trying to adapt the game story. Which, by the way, video games don't have stories, at least not this kind of game. The story of Final Fight is you walk to the right and you beat up bad guys. There's a premise. The premise is there's a kidnapping and you have to go save the girl. But other than that, that's not a story. Now, RPGs, they have stories. Side-scrollers, not a story. So it's just, I just remember sitting through this episode being like, this is so boring. All you're doing is telling the story of the game with Ryu and Ken, thrown in there just to add some substance, but it was really stupid anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, my head. For me, number 8, Defenders of the Realm wasn't as bad and isn't as good as this, but this is much worse. Like, Defenders of the Realm looks like a gem compared to Mortal Kombat, The Journey Begins. Or The Journey Begins Again, or whatever. What the hell was this supposed to... Like, I know we covered it in episode 69 or 68 or whatever, but... Oh, God. I've never seen Mortal Kombat characters not really be Mortal Kombat characters in anything else.
It's like it was... It was like I don't even know what you would call it, like a a test reel or something. It seemed more like an unfinished cartoon.
Yeah.
There was a lot of characters that were just kind of like, I remember there was a lot of characters running where they were clearly all just cut and paste. Like it was the same guy in the same shot just running. Like literally the same drawing, just pasted multiple times on the same screen.
If I wanted that, I would look at old Filmation He-Man running scenes.
It's not even that bad, though. It's literally like several of the same character just copied and pasted like together on the screen.
Jeez, that's... Wow. Alright, what are we on now? We're on number 7.
Number 7 is, So You Want to Be in Pictures, for Street Fighter. And this is just, the plot of this is that Ken and Ryu are helping Fei Long with a movie, and they fight like a crime boss or something, yada yada. It's just kind of this boring sort of story. It's sort of like it's a way to tell a different story than just fighting bison every week. But unlike the Fairy in the Spring episode of the Zelda cartoon, which was actually kind of cool, this was really not. It was just a very uninteresting episode of an already uninteresting cartoon, and not animated very well. The fight scenes are terrible, and it's just all around bad.
Yeah. My whatever number this is, 7, I think. Super Mario Bros. 3: Crimes Are Us. Oh boy. So this is the one where Koopa goes to the real world to basically break some guy out of jail to teach his kids how to commit crimes. You're supposed to be this evil king in this not so evil kingdom, but oh God, it's giving me the hiccups. I can't even talk about this. You're an evil king that has an evil castle. And you want to turn the kingdom evil. You want to take it over and basically trump everything. At least, thankfully, Koopa never tried to build a wall. I don't think he did anyway. Yeah, this was just stupid. The best part of Crimes Are Us was whoever did the voice for the crime guy that they broke out of prison, but trying to teach the Koopa kids how to be evil, isn't that what their dad is for? Not hiring a friggin' tutor? Like, come on, talk about bad parenting. Number 6 for you, sir.
Super Mario Bros. 3, I just have written the Milli Vanilli episode.
Yeah, it's Cootie Bar Rocks.
Yeah, this is the episode where they have Milli Vanilli having a guest star role. And it was already a bad episode before they edited it. A lot of weird animation.
Much worse.
Yeah, a lot of weird animation. Looks very unfinished. And then it aired, I'm going to use finger quotes, complete once. And then after that whole controversy with Milli Vanilli came out, they aired it again without the songs, which made it even worse. Like, some of the references didn't make any sense anymore. Like, there's a Blame It on the Rain reference, which doesn't make sense if the song is not playing.
Yep.
It's just very... I mean, it's not even worth airing anymore if you have to cut it up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not. Yeah, that episode... The princess is just so gaga over them and everything else, and so is Cootie, and oh Lord. What's so funny is a couple weeks ago at this point, my wife and I were just coming out of Walmart. It starts raining. Don't ask me how I did this so fast, but I basically pulled it up immediately and started playing Blame It on the Rain.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
if a tree falls on Milli Vanilli, does somebody else scream?
Number 6 for me, from Super Show, On Her Majesty's Sewer Service. First of all, I don't know what your opinion of the George Lazenby movie, Bond movie is, but I have never liked that movie. He's not an actor that I feel should have ever played Bond. And looking at Super Show the way we did X number of years ago now, and even me looking back at it through reading the Wikipedia synopsis and whatever, all Super Show is putting whatever parody they want to the Super Mario Brothers. You know, you've got this. You've got an Indiana Jones episode. You've got so many other. It really reads real. As much as I enjoy some of Captain Lou Albano and Danny Wells's live action bits, some of this, like Adventures of Sherlock Mario, Hooded Robin and his Mario Pied Koopa, bad rap. Oh, bad rap. That has to be the worst one. But Mario and Luigi become spies to save a secret agent, James Blonde, from Koopa Finger. And obviously, first of all, Koopa Finger, or Goldfinger, was not even in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That, like, I get it. They have to find a way to get Bowser in there, but they could have done Koopfeld or something, because isn't it Blofeld that's in On Her Majesty's Secret? I haven't seen that movie in years now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's the next one for me.
Yeah, I've got no Super Show episodes on here, but only because that whole show is just such a flat line for me that I was like, they're all kind of equally bad, but I don't think any of them were as bad as like any of the ones that I already listed. So I'm just like, they're just kind of off the list on a technicality. It's like none of them really stood out. You could kind of tell that it was being written very fast, and they were just kind of making whatever up as they went. What always kind of struck me about the Super Show was that it was like, why is it that every single episode they're in a different sort of setting, and they just kind of go along with the theme? Like, he's no longer King Koopa, he's Gold, or he's like Koopfinger, and it's like that sort of thing happens in a lot of episodes where like their entire identity changes depending on what setting they're in. It's like, what's going on here? Is there some sort of like mental sort of force that infects them upon entering like a new realm of the Mushroom Kingdom, that it forces them to take on these roles? It's have you ever seen that Bugs Bunny cartoon where their identities keep changing just because they're putting different hats on?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like, why is this even happening? But I'm kind of like psychoanalyzing a very, very bad cartoon. So the real answer is, who cares?
Yes. And up next is number 5 for you, sir.
My number 5 is Captain N, the Game Boy episode. The introduction of Game Boy, the Scrappy-Doo of the series, the unwanted extra character that serves no purpose, adds nothing, and has no sort of character growth. He's just kind of there. And
commence game action.
Speaks like a stupid baby, and just acts like a baby, and like doesn't really.
I like the sound effects, and I like his facial expressions at times. But other than that, I even though I enjoy that episode, I do agree with you on the baby aspect thing and the character, the kid character kind of thing. Sad thing is, I'll put Scrappy above Game Boy and my favorite characters.
There's like a whole bunch of characters like that, Flim Flam and Orbity from the Jetsons. It's just like, do we need these characters? Go away.
As much as I love him, even though I don't interact with him very, very much, it's all Robbie Rist's fault. It's all Cousin Oliver's fault.
Yeah, it's the Cousin Oliver effect. That's what it is.
Number 5 for me is... it kind of is fitting for the times, at least the times we live in now. It's the princess for president in Super Mario 3. At least she didn't try to hide any emails. But Koopa definitely is Trump. He just is. At least there's a chance to impeach Trump, potentially.
That's what you think. Trump's more like Megatron. Peace through tyranny.
Number 4 for you, sir.
Number 4 is Street Fighter, the World's Greatest Warrior. This is the Akuma episode. And this is the most egregious episode for me of Street Fighter just because it demonstrates how poorly these people understood the Street Fighter game. They made Akuma sort of this ghoul who steals other fighters' chi. He takes their chi somehow. And I'm like, that is not what Akuma is. Akuma is, all the characters have special moves. They all shoot fireballs. They all do like these supernatural things. The difference with Akuma is that Akuma is so geared into the fight that he's okay with killing people. That's kind of what he is. And he's kind of like this, he's not really even a villain per se. He's just kind of like this force of nature. He's neither good nor evil. He just kind of like does his own thing. And his whole thing, his whole focus is the fight. It's almost like the name of the series is Street Fighter or something. I mean, that's the whole point, is that they like fighting. And they found a way to make this episode not at all about fighting. It's more about like stopping this guy from taking people's souls. And it's just like, God damn it. That's not what this series is about. You fucking assholes.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. When you try to do an episode that has nothing to do with the overall series premise.
Well, that's like every episode, but this is the one that makes it so obvious. It's the most obvious one.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is from Zelda, Fairies in the Spring. This is by far, out of the 13 episodes, because there were only 13 made, out of the 13 episodes, I already didn't like Sprite from episode 1, Sprite Fairy, that's supposed to be the Madame Raz to Princess Zelda. Fairies in the Spring. The king is having a water park constructed to help his subjects cool off in the summer heat. When water monsters attack the construction crew, Zelda and Link investigate, but are startled to find that the water monster does not belong to Ganon. Okay, the toxic revenger in Tiny Toons, Plucky Duck, did this better. It's basically, stealing water from other people for your own... I mean, it's not necessary. It's the king of the land. It's not like he meant to steal something from the fairies, but this is kind of like, and even though I said last week and I said earlier today that in certain times and things I do like origin stories, I don't give a shit where the hell Sprite comes from, and I don't want to know anybody about the fairies of the spring. Like, I not care about this at all.
Yeah, I'll give it to you because it's a Sprite episode. Sprite is annoying, but I thought it was a neat. I thought it was at least kind of a cool premise. Plus, you have Princess Zelda in a bathing suit, which is the only good part about the second most sexy thing since Evil Zelda.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about the episode. Yeah. All right, number 3 for you, sir.
Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins, which we already talked about, but I kind of saved some of my rage for this because this was like, it seemed like what I said, it seemed kind of like a test reel for like how they kind of storyboard a movie before they actually shoot it. They actually make the whole movie in sort of like this sort of test reel sort of format where they'll just kind of like, they'll tell it through like drawings and just all sorts of like little animatronic, or there's a word that I'm trying to think of, and it's just escaping my tongue.
Storyboarded.
Yeah, it's storyboarded, but there's also it's like anime song. I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like I've seen movies that are just told entirely in this format, and it's an unfinished movie, but it's still kind of compelling to watch. This is just
it's an
so
animatic.
Animatic, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But this is like an animatic, but it's so bad. It's like there's all this unfinished animation. There's all, like I said, the cut and pasting of like, we need a bunch of guys all running at the same time on the screen, so we'll just copy and paste all these guys. And it's clearly the same animation on top of each other. And we'll mix 2D animation with 3D animation. There's stuff that in that thing that it's like, you know the 3D fight scenes. It looks like the rendering of these characters look worse than like PlayStation graphics of the era, and I do mean it looks worse than PlayStation graphics. It's so terrible, and it's badly produced, and what amazed me the most is that it was a tie-in with the movie, apparently. Like, you get to the end of it, and it's like, see Mortal Kombat in theaters coming, this summer or something. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, you taint the movie with that.
Yeah. And I know people have issues with Mortal Kombat and its sequel, more so the sequel than the original, but Mortal Kombat compared to The Journey Begins, I watched Johnny take off his sunglasses any day compared to this. This is just bad.
It's just like, why did you release this?
Yeah, really. Like,
it's like, was it worth the cost of the VHS tapes that you had to send out? Because this was before DVD.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Number 3 for me is Super Mario World Cave Christmas. This episode is so fucking bad. First of all, you have stingy little Uktar, or Rat Goo, and you have Koopa basically trying to play the Grinch. And the fact that Yoshi actually has to be the one to teach Uktar a lesson elevates Yoshi on being the better of the two characters for me, because Uktar is just he's worse than the problem child. He's worse than Junior.
Oh my God.
He's worse than the bow tie killer from the Problem Child movies. It just, oh God, it's just so bad.
What needs to happen is for Yoshi to eat Uktar, and then for Mario to jump off of Yoshi as he's trying to go over a pit. Just get rid of both of them in one go. That cartoon makes me not feel sad about jumping off Yoshi.
Oh, damn. Number 2 for you, sir.
Okay, this one's gonna be my cheat. It's just all of Darkstalkers. Every single episode, like with the Super Show, this one's just a flat line. It's bad all the way through. There's nothing that stands out. The animation is terrible. It's like, I don't remember who even animated it. It might have been like DR Movie, which was like a Korean studio that is good today, but was not good at the time. Yeah. It's just very, very awful character designs, and somehow takes characters like Morrigan and Felicia and a few of the other ones and like makes them batshit ugly. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you make an ugly version of Morrigan, but somehow they fucking did it. And what's really irritating to me is that not only is the character sexy in the game, but there was an anime, and she's fucking hot in that. And you go look at the American cartoon, you're like, what the hell happened? Why did you make this?
Yeah, That's not good.
And what, like the thing with Darkstalkers, as with Street Fighter, is that it's all about all these characters that are coming together and, just fighting with each other. And they're all kind of like, they're all just kind of in for themselves. Like nobody's really teamed up with anybody. But this fucking cartoon turned it into like G.I. Joe, where there's like a good guy side, a bad guy side. And I'm like, why did you do that? That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. I don't remember anything. Like, I remember watching Darkstalkers. I remember taking the time to watch those episodes. Unless I actually listened to the podcast that we recorded, I remember nothing from that series because I had no connection to it.
It's so forgettable.
Like, I would rather watch anything else, but I'm trying to think of what, like, not Team Fortress. What the hell was that one? Like Max Force or something. There was some, I forget. It was like some sort of cop fighting game, like a cross between Narc and something. But anyway, yeah, no, Darkstalkers. I remember nothing of that series. Anyway, number 2 for me, also from Mario World, Party Line. This is the one where the Mario Brothers decide to put phone lines into Dinosaur Land. And everybody's up all night long talking on the phone. And all the wires get crossed and it eventually all goes to hell. But it is a bad episode, but I actually had an issue with this. I wasn't sure if I was going to put this on my best or my worst list because it does talk about a specific time in our history where everybody was on the phone to everybody else. Now we're just all on the internet yelling at each other through comments on Facebook or Twitter messages. Like, it's so polarizing how much times have changed from this episode to now. Party Line's still a bad episode, though, because they use the old can and vine method for making the phones. That has to be unsanitary. I don't know. Drum roll, please. Number 1 for you, sir, is...
I think we both have the same number 1. I have Donkey Kong Country, specifically the Kingdom of the Crystal Coconut. I'm sorry, the Legend of the Crystal Coconut. Yes. That was the VHS. That's the one that I watched. I think you watched a different episode or two. I don't remember, but really, this is another one where it could be like, all of it. Because there was nothing good about this cartoon at all.
Yeah, no. See, here's the thing, folks. For those of you who might, and I don't know why you're just listening to this episode now versus not have been listening to us for the last 7 years, originally, this podcast was always going to be 100 episodes, but I had worked into it where we would cover all, 40-something episodes? Whatever it is. I don't even know. I'd have to look it up. Basically, from episode 71 to 84 of the podcast or something would have been all of Donkey Kong Country. And we started talking one night on Skype, and we're like...
We saw what was coming, and we got out of the way.
Yeah, because I'm like, as much as I love, and you don't really love, as much as I love the rare game Donkey Kong Country... this cartoon series is by far the worst video game cartoon series that ever there was. 'Cause it's...
I've got a lot to say about this, because this thing... I kind of cross-referenced it with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as a joke, but really, this thing is a nuked fridge flying over a shark. It's so bad. This thing, first of all, the CGI models, they somehow, I don't know how they did this, but I don't really care for the rare googly-eyed version of Donkey Kong. I really prefer the old Nintendo version. And thankfully, the version of Donkey Kong they have now is kind of like an amalgam of the two. They kind of like dialed it back a bit, so it's not quite so ugly. But like this, they took the rare design and somehow made it worse. Like they turned it into this like totally bipedal version of Donkey Kong, and the CGI model, I kind of struggled to describe it the first time around, but I think the word that I was looking for was it's like modular. Like it looks like the characters don't even look like they're connected together. It's like they're just, all the body parts are just kind of, just kind of slapped on, and they don't really look like they're attached. And it kind of creates this weird sort of naked look with Donkey Kong, because, the way his legs attach to the body, it makes him look like he has this really pronounced butt. And And another thing is that this cartoon, for some reason, has to have a song in every single episode. And the songs are awful because it's like AM contemporary bullshit. It's like the style of music that if I could pick any style of music to just push off a cliff and make it go away forever, it would be this style of music. And, I realized that, like, just thinking to myself, I'm like, Neil, not everything could be Dokken, okay? Yeah, I know that, but this is really bad. It's really, really awful. And the voices, I think the only one that I really liked was who's the grandpa one? I should know this. Cranky Kong. He actually kind of sounds like, he actually kind of sounds how how you think he would look. The voice for Donkey Kong, not at all what I think Donkey Kong would sound like. God damn it. This show is so bad. And specifically I believe I already mentioned this the first time around, but the show that I watched was a compilation of 4 episodes that was put out on a VHS tape, and then some asshole uploaded it to YouTube, and I found myself watching it. And one of the episodes is a clip show. For some reason, you already have a compilation episode. Why do you put a clip show in it? And what's even funnier is that one of the clips in that clip show was from an episode that happens later in the compilation. So you have kind of this time paradox where they're remembering something that hadn't happened yet.
I hate when that happens.
That is so bad.
Yes. Don't do that, people. Just don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. Okay, so I've been trying to find the episode list for this series. I have searched on Wikipedia. I have yet to go to IMDb, and Wikipedia is like, Donkey Kong Country, there was a cartoon. And, that's really, it's like one section of the overall Donkey Kong Country, the game thing. Oh, damn it. I wanted to see how many actual episodes there were. I want to say there were close to 30 or 40. But sadly, even my original PETA schedule doesn't even... It just has episode 70, Donkey Kong Country overall discussion. So, damn it.
It doesn't even matter. Just
I know it doesn't matter.
Don't watch it.
But yeah, don't watch it. Yeah, it's not good, folks. You won't. Okay, so
I already don't like mid-90s CGI. I mean, the whole reason why Toy Story and A Bug's Life work is because, toys and insects kind of work with the low polygon count, where you don't need a lot of texture detail. They kind of look natural as is with those low polygon models. Everything else, it just doesn't work. And I know people are going to be like, but Neil, there's Mainframe Entertainment. There's Beast Wars and
leave Beast Wars out of this.
And, whatever, what was that one with Bob and Enzo? I can't remember.
That would be Reboot.
Yeah, but Neil, there's Reboot. I don't care. I think those cartoons are ugly. I can't stand looking at them.
Beast Wars was not bad. It was a different type of trend. This is something we can talk about completely on another show, but it was a completely different animation style because it was completely different. Even though it was still Optimus and Megatron, it wasn't G1 Optimus and Megatron. It was, hell, before any of that happened kind of thing.
It's just, I don't have any desire to watch any cartoon animated in the 90s with CGI. For me, the evolution of CGI was basically the money for nothing video and then Toy Story. If Toy Story didn't work, then, it would have been like a few more years before we finally got something good in CG. But, thankfully that movie, really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
But, getting back to Donkey Kong Country, the animation is just so goddamn ugly. I hate this cartoon.
Yeah. The animation is bad. The voice, as much as I love voice actors and the performances that they do, the voice acting in this was god awful, and the music or lack thereof, and like you said earlier, the fact that they had to have a song in every episode. Oh God. It's just, I would rather be stuck on the snow level of the actual Donkey Kong Country game than watch that series again.
I would rather take a Kurt Cobain tonsillectomy than watch any episode of Donkey Kong Country.
Wow. Well, when God closes a door, he opens a window. Oh boy. Alrighty then. There's two things you don't talk about in podcasting, folks: politics and religion. And we've brought, at least I've brought both of them up here now. Yeah, I mean, that's really all we got left. Next time around, episode 100, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I have no plan.
We're going to blow it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
The podcast is going to start, you're just going to hear na 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 na, and then you'll hear the Looney Tunes outro.
That's all, folks. Yeah, it's been a crazy 7 years. Episode 100, we'll do something animated or video game-ish or something. Hey, maybe we can watch that new Castlevania Netflix thing or something. Not really, but I don't know. Have you seen that at all? I know it's out there.
I did commentary tracks for both seasons on ravinghipster.com. For a mere $2 on Patreon, you could listen to me and Ben talk about the Castlevania cartoon while watching it.
Sweet. Head on over to geekcastradio.com. That's where you can find all of our other stuff from this show and all the other shows. Join us next time. Help us find the pixels in the animation. We will see you for episode 100, the final episode. Does anyone still even listen to this show?
Hello? Are you out there?
Is this thing on? Alright, we are out.
Yeah.
Hey, Donkey Kong!
Yeah?
Happy trails! And don't come back!
I don't know what's happening to me. I'm getting all the blame for things I didn't do. Can anybody tell me just what I did wrong? I'm all alone and I'm so confused. I don't know what everyone wants me to be. I only know just how to be me. Once I was the ape of the hour, they think I'm a coward, an absolute zero. I'm nobody's hero, an absolute zero. I'm nobody's hero. I'm nobody's hero.
Alright, yeah, I don't. It's completely up to you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll think of something.
I think in the final episode, when we get to doing that, if you still remember, or if you have it written down somewhere, you can bring up your extra things that you didn't bring up for Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff, and whatever.
Yeah.
It's, like, so close at the tail end of it, it's like, we've run out of shit to do. I guess we could go back and look at the first 5 episodes of Super Show again 7 years later and see if... Or, I know it's no, but...